Hello and welcome to an episode of Ed Talks. Ed Talks is a conversation starter with industry leaders from Bums on Seats. My name's Ed. I'm the Hospitality Tech and Partnerships Director at Bums on Seats. And today I'm joined by Olivia Fitzgerald, Chief Sales and Marketing Officer at Zonal. Welcome, Olivia.
Hi, Ed.
Obviously, I would love to hear a little bit more about what you do and also how you think Zonal really can help the hospitality industry going into 2023.
Yeah, okay. So Zonal, I guess a lot of people know Zonal. I think we've worked with about 17,000 venues in the UK now. So a lot of people have worked with us in the past, which is brilliant. But we've been around for about a bit more than 40 years now. So we've grown very organically in the hospitality sort of vertical. So we're very strongly kind of connected to the industry. We see ourselves as like a long-term partner, want to be around in another 40 years and still kind of working hand in hand with operators to provide basically not only the most comprehensive technology stack, but also the most integrated technology stack that's available on the market. So whether that's working with our own sort of additional modules and connecting those into EPOS, or whether it's connecting to more than 120 different partners that we work with now. So it's all, I guess the big picture is this beautiful technology universe where everything's connected, everything talks, and it's all integrated, and it just takes away a lot of your problems at a stroke.
Yeah, and it's incredible that you've been around for so long. I mean, what would you, out of interest, what would you say would be your top USP or a couple of top USPs for, why Zonal? Why, what do you think the key is to the growth that you've achieved over the last 40 years?
I mean, I think that's a really good question. And I think obviously we have to have the right technology with the right functionality. I think that's sort of a given. But I think more over and above that, I think it's actually the culture of the business, because we're a family business. We've sort of always been profitable. We've always been very stable and reinvested really heavily in the technology, which means that we have a very, very long-term view. We'll often be investing sort of for maybe 10 years in the future. And I guess we understand, I think 70% of us have worked in hospitality before coming into technology. So we do understand that support and service are all important. So for example, there's a help centre that you can call anytime from 8 a.m. till 12 midnight. So I guess our whole mission in life is to keep you trading. It's like we are, over more than anything else, we're here to make sure that your EPOS is absolutely resilient and that we can get to you, solve your problems as quickly as possible. I think that's where we're absolutely kind of second to none in the market, really.
Yeah, I think that's really important, especially with the issues that hospitality is facing this year, where it's important to keep the doors open. And I think, as part of this campaign that we're doing, no to last orders, it's about trying to prevent any sort of hospitality closures, I think. And, being able to have that support from suppliers is going to be super key moving, throughout this year and throughout this period from all the issues that are arising. And I think what would be really keen from your perspective to understand, where do you see Bums on Seats and Zonal really working together to tackle these issues that hospitality is facing? How can we really start to get onto the bonnet and really just make sure people are capitalising?
Yeah, I mean, I think that what I love about Bums on Seats kind of model is that it's kind of where technology and people meet, I guess, to get the outcome that you really want. And I think for any hospitality business, it's not like the technology you use is never on its own going to be a silver bullet. Like, it has immense potential. It can be really exciting. It can make you more money or help you save a lot of money. That's all great, but it's also about people and behavior and culture. And so I think that the kind of training and the sort of consultation that we can do within our team, but also with Bums on Seats, that's where the magic happens. I think that's where you get, the understanding of what's possible with the technology, but also the kind of uptake of that within the business that makes it a reality. So I think, for me, like, having worked in hospitality for, 10 years myself, I know you can't just chuck a piece of software at people and expect them to start using it well. It has to be the expertise and the consultation that goes along with that is absolutely vital. And I think more than ever this year, investing in that training and the consultation is going to be absolutely paramount.
Yeah, I totally agree, and I think there is what bumps and seats can help really is that whole idea of is getting that, making sure it's fit for purpose, and it's really understanding, utilizing what you've got. And I think one phrase I often talk about is hospitality tech should never replace that sort of interaction with the customers. It should always be, technology should always enhance that. It should never do that. And I think it's around making sure that everyone knows that and everyone's on board, and bumps and seats can really help facilitate that, whether that be through, as you say, kind of that, whether that's a kind of training aspect, that expertise, and really getting to understand why that's in place, I think is really, really key. And working with you guys, we've been able to sort of show that across the board, which is fantastic. So I think one thing I think everyone really wants to know as well is it's great being able to talk about how these, how suppliers work together and how we can really help the industry together. But what would you say would be your top 3 tips for any operator that's looking at technology, that's looking at the industry, thinking, I need to keep my doors open? What would be your advice?
Yeah. So I guess the first one that I was thinking about is, investing. Yeah, times are going to be tough this year. Making big investments in new stuff is difficult in this kind of climate. And so I think looking for the quick wins, the kind of more inexpensive and simple to implement things that could make a really big difference to I think customer experience, a joined up, seamless customer experience is going to be so important this year, because if people are going to go out and spend their money, which they've got a lot less of, they need a really compelling reason to do that. So we in hospitality, we have to deliver this excellent customer experience. And I think there are ways that we could say, for example, I've been thinking a lot this year about pay my bill. So about we know that it's a big friction point. So people are sitting at a table, they can't catch the eye of a member of staff. They're getting frustrated. They want to go. The kids are screaming. There's kids involved, and you just want to pay and go once you've finished eating. And I think that's very simply, calling up your bill from a QR code on your mobile, when you're sitting at the table, paying it off straight away and leaving. It just puts the control in the power of the customer, and it also means that your team don't have to make that additional kind of call out to the table. So I think that something like that's a win on multiple levels is really, really compelling, and actually not hard to implement, not costly, and could both save you money and improve your customer experience. I think that's a real gem. So I think it's looking for those quick wins. So that's number one. The second one I would recommend is just sort of thinking about anywhere where you can join the dots with your technology, and make sure that you, rather than having separate pools of data or separate kind of systems that don't speak to each other, looking for that integrated solution. It just cuts down so much additional admin for your team, really, if the information flows from one system to the other, and you're then you can then act on that data, both operationally and in terms of your marketing plans and how you run your business. Then you've got something that you can really rely on and make decisions on going forward. So I think integration, I think that's more important than ever now. Such a huge time saving there. And then I think my last one would be just investing in people. I mean, we all know how important that is. Getting Zonal's last year and will continue this year to be a big supporter of Hospitality Rising, because we see that this is a fundamental issue that the industry is facing right now, to get the right people in. But I think being a bit more flexible about the way that we employ people, it might be that we move towards a majority of part-time employees, for example, rather than full-timers. It might be that we have to be more flexible about the way that, the hours that people pick up. I mean, I think it will be different for different businesses, but within our team, we've really had to do that in the last year. And actually, I think it's very positive for the business. It's very, that flexibility is what people in the workplace expect today. And we have to kind of find ways of being able to deliver that. Not, obviously we stay open late at night, all that stuff, that's a given. But I think still thinking about things a little bit more creatively can really help to get different people into working in hospitality.
Yeah, I think they're 3 really great points. And I think, to kind of summarize kind of what you said is, looking at those quick wins, what can you embed that's really going to impact service with speed of service and therefore quality of service, and then therefore customer satisfaction, keep them coming back by looking at that quick wins from a tech perspective is really key. And obviously from an integration point of view, it's been using those integrations will allow you to be obviously more cost effective, right? So what they may spend on doing certain tasks can now be, if that can be integrated and made a lot smoother, that time can be invested elsewhere. That can be invested in that customer satisfaction. That can be used to try and entice people to come back, and that whole loyalty piece. And then obviously, as you say, the people is key. And I think I think that's a really key element, is making sure that they're upskilled, is making sure that you're invested in, Bums on Seats, for example, run training courses for both operations and sales team members at all sort of levels, from foundation to advanced, and really looking at all those avenues around how can you upskill them and really sort of keep them interested, keep that buy-in there, I think is really important. So they're three really great tips. Thank you so much. But yeah, thank you so much for your time today. What we're going to do is we're going to put all these top tips together for all of our partners, including Bums on Seats, put them together, and we'll be able to release that to everybody, so everyone can have a look at this top tips written guide sort of towards the end of February for everyone. But if anyone would like to understand a little bit more about how Bums on Seats work, or Zonal works, and how they work together to really help the industry with it looking into 2023, then feel free to obviously contact either one of us, either Olivia or myself, or contact us at sales@zonal.co.uk, and also contact@bumsonseats.org. But once again, thank you so much for your time, and I look forward to seeing you soon.
Thanks, Ed.
Thank you.